Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Scrappy Lisa and I invite you again to have a look at our latest instalment of the Pocket Page Roundup series YouTube hop that we're doing. There's multiple ladies joining in this month. You can see here we're doing viewing party, and this was a bit of a challenge trying to come up with a plan of what to do. And I recently watched the Olympics with my family, and because my aim is to try and incorporate these prompts into my Everyday Project Life album for the week that was the Olympics. We were in lockdown at home in Australia, so we watched a lot of Olympics. So I thought I just started taking some screenshots of the events that I liked. So I think this is a good thing to look back in the future. Normally, I like different events, and I found I was watching different things to what I normally would. So it was a good opportunity to capture a moment of time where we're at the moment, what we're into. So here you can see I'm using a jelly bean soup stamp, which I apologise, it's not easily attainable at the moment. It is a stamp and die in one. Um, I know recently somebody was asking, and I've helped to try to find one, source one. We had no luck, and so I ended up just die cutting some and sending them for her. But yeah, not easy to find, but if you can, definitely snap it up. It's a great little set. So I've just stamped these. I took screenshots of the shows that I liked watching, and I found out, so my husband and my oldest son also watched a fair bit of Olympics over the time, so I found out what events they liked, and I just used the little pictographs to symbolise what they watched. So you can see I've just sized them all about the same. I'll cut them up, I'll pop them onto two of the TVs, and for my TVs I'll actually put a cutout of what I enjoyed watching. So you get the idea. I'll just speed this bit up so you can see just how I've put their two TVs together. This is showing the pictures that I'm planning on using. I measured all the sizes so I knew what size I would actually need to cut out in order to put into all the televisions after I die cut them. So here you can see the beach volleyball. So I like the beach volleyball more than the normal volleyball just because it was harder and more diving, and only two on the court on each side. It's more of a challenge and to cover the whole area. So I thought that was a bit of fun to watch. I do tend to prefer watching countries where we're represented. So where I could, I used photos of Australians, but there was, I think shooting was one where Australians really didn't do any well, so I just used what I did. I've got a snapshot here of sports I enjoyed watching, which included swimming, K1 or kayak, diving, beach volleyball, tennis, and the shooting. So I'm mounting all those onto little 3x4 cards because they're all going to go on in a 9x12 9 pocket protector. You can see I've added my journaling. I was a little bit bored by that. I will cut that last column off. So I've got an old part that I've cut off from another one, and I've decided I'm going to make a little flap that will cover a little bit of that journaling, but I'm using that old pocket protector, and I'm going to use hole punches to create those rings, one bigger, one smaller. Got approximate colours, it didn't really matter too much. Then I'll just add some adhesive on the back, lay them in a fashion, so I kind of cut them a little bit to get them to tuck into each other so it looks like the Olympic rings. Then I'll tuck them into the protector, stick them down, and in the end I'll end up stapling them in place because that's what I prefer. So there you can see them stuck down. I'll staple just a couple of the edges just to keep the little pocket, it's kind of a little pocket, shut. And I don't like the rough back of staples, so I'll pull out my hammer shortly and just knock down the back of the staple just to flatten it so it doesn't affect the staple in any way. It just means that I won't get indentations if these, after 20 years, have been sitting on the shelf pushing on the card or the photo or anything behind it. So here you can see me hammering that down. So I'm quite happy with that. It's a bit of a simple page, but that's okay. So I thought I'd throw in something different. On the back, I thought I'd do a different version of a viewing party. And I thought, oh, we also happened to get a few Snapchat filters of us as we we're sitting watching the Olympics. So I thought I'd use this Studio Calico frame, and just for something different, I would heat emboss the actual frames. So I've used the document and I think the noteworthy. I used the noteworthy for the journaling perhaps, but the document for all of the pictures of our family. So as you would know, if you've ever heat embossed before, I just used an anti-static pad to try and decrease the static on the card first. Pop my frame down into my Tim Holtz positioner. I don't have the Misty. I got this when it came out and I'm thrilled because it's a wonderful tool, but I don't think they're for sale anymore. So I will use Versamark ink to stamp onto the pad so that it stays wet enough for me to get some embossing powder on it. And then I think I pretty much just Versamarked, embossing powdered, put them aside, and then at the end got the heat tool out and kind of heated them all together. So as long as you can get that embossing powder on, it will work. The embossing powder I'm using, I bought possibly 20 years ago when there was a shop called Stamp-A-Lot in Mornington. That's a long, long time ago when I first started stamping. So as you can see in this video, it works perfectly. You know, it obviously doesn't have a shelf life. I use the paper underneath to capture the stray powder to salvage it and put it all back again. I don't do a great job. I'm a bit rusty. I haven't done any heat embossing for a long time, so I do get some strays in the end, but I'm not going to stress too much. A lot of it will get cut out because I'll cut that middle section out to put my photo in behind it, as I did with the other TVs earlier. So here you can see I'm just mass producing, doing a bit of a mass production as I heat all of those. So don't forget to go and check out the other ladies also joining in this viewing party YouTube hop for our pocket page roundup. It's always good to get other people's perspectives on the same prompt. Like I know others were doing it on shows they like to watch, others were doing it on live shows that they like to watch. So here you can see all of them all together. They all look the same except for one. I hope from memory I was right in thinking that I would actually use that for journaling, but I may not have. So here I just cut out the insides. My blade is a little bit dull, and so I have to go over it twice, but that's okay. I prefer that than to keep changing my blade every 10 days. You can see the whole idea. I cut them down to size so that most of the picture would fit in. A little bit of washi tape on the back to hold it in place, and you can see the first one done. I'll go ahead and do the other 8 or so that I've got there as well. Now I'll just cut out the others. You can see they're all in place, a bit of a mixture of everybody in the family, some more than others, just depending on what I had. Stuck down with the washi tape to hold them in place. They'll just tuck in behind the cards that have the TV on the other side. So back to back, same week, I'm not bothered. I don't mind that 1 week starts on the front of a page. So here's some close-ups of the filter of the pictures we took of each other, or I took of everybody, I should say. All sons and a lot of girly ones, a lot of silly ones. Bit of fun. Now I had one more spin on this viewing party. I don't include the photos of the people that are included for privacy reasons. You would have seen them earlier on the sheet of photos, but it was just, I've got this computer monitor, I think. So I do the same thing. I just heat emboss the stamp. I'm not sure where I got this stamp from. Using my Versamark again. Just 3 computer screens just to represent another viewing party we had that same week, which was actually a Zoom scrap, which turned out being more of a Zoom chat than a scrap. We didn't scrap that much that day because we haven't caught up for a while. So it was just my friend from Newcastle, a friend from Wales, and myself all getting on at the same time, having a chat, seeing where we're at in life, where we're at with our scrapbooking, and just there to encourage and support each other, which is always nice. Yet again, heat emboss this one. I won't show the actual photos in at the end. This is what I'll actually use in front of my television page to represent the week that, I think it might have been week 32 from memory, to represent the week of 2021. We didn't really do anything else this week, so this is pretty much the extent of my project life for week 32 in my 2021 album. Thanks for watching. I would appreciate if you found the time to like or comment on my video, what you preferred, which pages were the better ones, which ideas you liked better. And if you wanted to subscribe to my channel, that would be wonderful. I'm always looking for new subscribers to help promote my page a little bit more, to encourage me to do a little bit more. I've got some new videos coming up soon. Thanks for watching.